Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Game is brought to you by GoDaddy. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 294. Still Got Game's official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel, a Dude I Rock Albert.
What is going on, Joel Dude I Rock Albert, my friend? Anything new going on with you?
No, absolutely nothing new is happening with me.
No.
Except I'm in a completely empty apartment because I'm moving back to Chicago.
What the fuck? Yes.
So yeah, everyone should be super, super happy that we actually did this podcast because it is the most inconvenient time humanly possible for me to be doing a podcast and sending it out to you guys. So if you ever complain again about us not being on time, I'm going to bring this back, throw it right back in your face.
Yeah. Movers literally just left Jay's place.
Just left my place. They left my place at about almost 5 o'clock. So maybe an hour ago, but still they've been here all day, moving all the stuff onto a truck, driving more than halfway across the country, essentially, on Friday. So that does mean on Monday, it's possible that I won't have a place to live yet. So it will once again be up in the air. But as long as there is an internet connection, I will have my laptop and have my mic. So I'm even going to try to make sure we do a podcast next week as well.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of good news for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or bad news. It depends on the way you look at it. I don't know.
Yeah. So I knew this last week, but we kept this on the DL. But I did kind of drop a hint in the outtakes that maybe the show time would change at some point here once Jay's back in a different part of the country, and we can kind of figure out something that's a little more time centric. And maybe, you know what? Maybe God forbid, maybe we pick a different day. Who knows? So what we're looking for is suggestions from everybody. And we'd like suggestions from people from both coasts. In the middle, people can just, they deal one way or the other.
Yeah,
so
you're going to get it no matter what.
So Eastern people and Pacific people, let us know, not just for you, but if you were just thinking outside of yourself, for people in your time zone, what are good times for you that you would watch a live show and you'd be able to pull some time aside and actually watch us live? So let us know, and so we'll see what we can do about making that happen. And I guess on that, why don't we actually get into the show, since we're like 5 minutes in and we haven't even started the real show. So we'll start off with feedback from last week's show. Remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Rednark comments. Great episode last week. Love the talk about taking Super Smash Brothers and making it multi-platform. This is one of those dreams that almost seems doable. The way you guys spun it, how could Nintendo say no?
Well, they're stubborn, right? I think that's what we always seem to get to at the last point, is that they are just a stubborn company and they want to succeed. I don't blame them. Nintendo has literally been around since the 1800s. So it's a very, very old company. And I could see why they want to keep that train rolling. It would be amazing for gamers. That's the only thing I can say.
And no matter how well we pitch it, as there's a good business reason for Nintendo to do it. The only downside is it goes against their console business. But right. How well is that doing for reals at this point? So, you know what I mean? It's one thing to have their handheld business, but the console business is an entirely different story. So no matter how well we spin it, they're not going to listen to us. But we do spin it well. We're like marketeers.
Exactly. We're giving them all the tools they need for the day that they want to flip that switch. And yes, you can pretty much attribute anytime they do flip that switch to us.
Yep. That's just right here. That was our idea.
Welcome.
Copyright 2014. Actually, we started talking about it last year. Copyright 2015.
Years ago.
Yeah, maybe even back in 2004.
Probably in like 1946. No, wait, I wasn't.
Yeah. A long time ago. Yeah, so, definitely. All right. And next up, we have a call from Selden 007. And Hit, why don't you roll that call for us, brother?
Hey, this is Selden 007 giving you a call. Hey, just wanted to get your opinion on the dashboard or user interface on the PS4 and Xbox One going on a year into its integration. I'm telling you, I'm in the Xbox Live preview program for the dashboard, and I love the changes that are coming. They are doing such innovative things and bringing things up that are just absolutely perfect. What are your guys' thoughts?
All right. Well, Yeah, there's a lot of changes that happened to the dashboards. Oh, one more than others in the past year.
Yeah.
I like the direction things are going. I think that Microsoft has been, especially with the preview program, getting so many people into that. It's not like in the past where each time you had to sign up and maybe you're one of this small group picked. Once you're in, and they just keep rolling these fucking dashboard updates to you. And that thing looks nothing like the way it started. Now you get all the quick stuff where you double tap the ring of light button. It pops up a little quick UI. You can head over to snap something to the right. You can switch back and forth between your snapped and your unsnapped. They've added finally the DLNA client. Their shit is awesome. Sony's made some advances, but definitely not to the point I think Microsoft has.
No, I mean, absolutely not. The thing about it, and this is funny because this came after, I'm assuming, last week's comments. But yeah, Sony's updates for 2.0, saying it's essentially the next version, the next level, if you will, usually means a lot of fundamental changes. Usually when a software goes from a 0.1 to a 2, or I'm sorry, a 1 to a 2, it's usually like a major change. And we talked a little bit about it. The major changes that we see currently coming out of Sony don't seem that big, whereas Microsoft, I don't even think they use a point system. I don't even think it's like a
There's
one.
no numbering. Yeah.
There's no number. They're just like, here's a bunch of shit, and it's almost always shit that is of value. And that's not to say that Sony's 2.0 does not have some value, and it absolutely does. But there are a lot of marketing things that are coming with the 2.0 from Sony. And it just feels like a lot of that's to just make some extra cash. So in terms of the dashboard updates, I think they're both at least doing the work necessary to make the updates come. It's just that it feels like right now Xbox is making those updates come a lot faster and actively really listening to what the community wants and getting it out there. That to me is probably the most important part of it, is that they seem to be features that we asked for. And I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, Microsoft has that whole website of, submit your suggestions, and then other people upvote them and shit. And the things that are trickling to the top are the things that they've been hammering off first. So it really is like the first time I can remember in a long time where there was that level of transparency with a company where they say, hey, you know what, you want something different, let us know, and we'll see if we can make it work. And they really have been. And shit's coming fast and furious. So if there was a winner in the dashboard wars, I think that the Xbox One is dominating.
Hands down. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone for Sony voted or said, hey, in the next update, I need you to give me a way that I can buy themes from you and give you real money. Like, I don't think that was something that anyone really wanted. Now, people are excited about the themes, which I think is cool. And I that's not my personal thing. I don't really care what my skin looks like. I just want to play my game. But some people are excited about it. I just don't think that people were like, that was something that people really wanted.
No, that's not a list topper.
No. And they still have problems with the speed at which they send messages. If anyone's used the PS4, it takes ages sometimes for you. If I send you a message and say, hey, we're playing some Destiny, you want to play? You might not get it for 10, 15 minutes. And then I'm already off playing. So there's some fundamental things that hopefully that comes with this 2.0, but it was certainly not included in the release notes. So I don't know. I always say focus on the bugs first and worry about the fluffy shit later.
Yep.
But oh well.
Agreed. All right. Good call, Selton. Thanks. And Fang Artisan comments. Despite your warnings, I ended up watching the trailer for Hatred anyway. Even though you two made it seem horrendous, it was even more distasteful than your words described. For now on, I'm taking your word for it. Sorry I didn't listen. LOL.
I still, okay, so I watched a second of it. I remember I hit play. I was like, just for the research for the show to know how terrible it was. I didn't even get through the entire thing. I was just like, nope, this is exactly how horribly shitty I thought it was going to be. Shut it off, and had no desire to even actually go out and watch the entire thing. So I'm not surprised. And I'm not surprised that you're not surprised when you watched it that it was terrible. I think we did a pretty good job of explaining that up front. But yeah, I mean, if you got to go look at it, I understand. But for me, it's always like, don't even give them the hits. Don't even give them the views. Just let it die. And I hope to not really even talk about it ever again.
I do too. But maybe next time, Fang Arson, you'll just listen. If we tell you something, just take our fucking word for it. Like like you said, just take what we say at face value, because we have no reason to stop you from watching something. If we say you don't want to watch it, you really don't. Yeah. All right. And last but not least, Charlotte comments. I've only been a fan of yours for about a year, but that's only because I didn't discover your show until then. Thanks for the weekly injection of funny. Oh, yeah, we gave you a little injection, Charlotte.
Whoa. Whoa, it was a PG show.
Of funny. An injection of funny.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah, clearly. I don't know what's wrong with me. I apologize.
Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with you, man?
Watching that trailer completely fucked me up. My morals went way down.
All of a
I'm
sudden,
back now. Everything's fine.
you're off the chain. But yes, thanks, Charlotte. And I'm sorry you didn't learn about us until about a year ago. But if you do need more content to fill you up, there's years of content. Like I said, this is episode 294. So if you came in a year ago, let's say we did 45 episodes in that year, that puts us somewhere in episode 250. So you have 250 hours at least of content that you can listen through. And you can watch the iteration of the show. Like I occasionally go back to some early episodes and I am much more jacked out now. Like the show starts up and I'm, hey now! And then you go back to the old ones. I'm like, hey now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Tool to Type Radio. I'm Derek D. Smooth Nolan. So now I'm much more animated. We rock it at double speed, at least. Everything
that's why once we brought on our third host, which is Cocaine, it really made the show just absolutely pop.
Yes, yeah, pop is right. Cocaine is the ultimate helper to make you take whatever you have, it makes it better.
Wow.
So yes, so thanks for the comments, everybody. And if you need any feedback, give us a call 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And in site-related news, I've got nothing, and I know Jay's got nothing because he's mid-move, which is what we kind of alluded to last week, but we will have some site-related news at some point in the next few 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, probably. Once I have to find a place to live and,
yeah,
some normal things you have to do in your life.
Priorities.
Yeah, I got priorities. Yes. But as soon as that gets all settled down, I have a nice internet connection and a place to lay my head, then we'll get right back to work. So don't worry about it.
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess on that, we can meander over into what we're playing. And I think we both know the only thing that anyone's ever played this week. Have you played anything other than Destiny?
I'm actually trying to think. Well, so even with the move, right? This just goes to show how much I'm in love with this game. Even with the move, I have kept one. I would like to show you, but it's on the other side, and I can't really flip this. But I have a little sort of box that I've had of a makeshift TV stand, one monitor, my Xbox, and I'm playing Destiny in an empty room.
Nice.
So priorities. They were like, aren't you going to ship that? I'm like, fuck you. I'm bringing this shit wherever I go. It's going to the hotel. It's going to the motel. It's going to the Holiday Inn. Doesn't matter. I'm playing while I move. So yeah, Destiny is my destiny for the next long while.
It's awesome. Can't say enough good stuff.
And then MCC right around the corner. So yeah, it's going to be a battle royale for my attention in November. It's going to be insane.
And like I said, I am still looking for some people to do the raid with myself, Tiff, and Mr. GBMS. So if any of you are interested, hit us up. We're all decked out 29 1/4 or 29 1/5 or whatever.
You guys are ready to go.
Oh, yeah. We just need some people to hop in there with us. So you want to play with us? Let us know. Either 773-527-2961, podcast@toolplay.com. Add me on Xbox Live. This is obviously Xbox One people I'm looking for. D-Smooth. And we'll do it up. And I think Hitman's going to join us this week. So we're looking to fill 2 spots. And Hitman is the old pro at the raid now. He is going to be...
He's the Sherpa.
We're going to even let him be the raid leader and pretend he's in charge, pretend he's not Canadian for a night. It's going to be insane. So,
Canada leads America to victory?
I know. What the fuck?
Said no one ever.
True facts. So it's
awesome.
It's like backwards day.
It is backwards. I can't wait.
All right. So yeah, definitely hit us up and we'll do that up. And I guess on that, we will move on over to the new releases. And there is only one major new release out this week, and it is out for the Xbox One. And it is Sunset Overdrive. This is the long-awaited Xbox One exclusive third-person shooter from Insomniac Games, the guys that were formerly, all PlayStation all the time until they put out that Fuse game last year on Xbox 360, which was an awesome co-op shooter game. It's set in a future where energy drinks have mutated the populace into these creepy fucking monsters. in addition to being a shooter, the game's all about fast traversal of the world. So you're grinding rails, you're hitting zip lines, and any other fast methods you can think of. You're chaining all this shit together to get around. As you chain together and kick ass, that's what the game's all about. It reminds me a lot of Jet Set Radio Future meets some Duke Nukem or any of the Insomniac like Ratchet and Clank type style games with the insane weapons and the over the top shit. It is so good. We saw this game at E3. It looked awesome then, and it looks even more polished now. So we are probably going to be picking this up at our house. And normally I would ask Jay if he's picking it up, but he has disappeared right now. And he's back. Oh my God, this is the worst thing that's happened in the show ever. And there he is. Why would you walk away during the show, Joel Dude I Rock Albert?
I muted. Someone was at the door, dude. The movers came back because they forgot something. Oh, no. I gave you the this.
I didn't see the this.
I gave you the signal. I muted. It could have been so pro, and you just totally fucked it up.
If we had more than one,
no one would have been the wiser.
I can only pontificate on a single new release for so long. So
I felt like I was lightning quick too. What did you just say? Yeah, it looks like a good game, and what do you think, Joel Dude I Rock Albert?
No, I tried to milk your ass. But
God damn it, it's lightning fast.
No, it was a lot of fun at E3. It's fast, it's frenetic, it looks like a great game. And this was on our must-buy list until Destiny, and now I don't know if this is going to be something that we can fit into our gaming schedule here.
No, but this is great because this is going to be a game, like, this is the way I look at it, because I do want to play it. It's going to be a game like 5-6 months down the road. I'm going to pick it up for $30. I'm going to play it on a weekend. I'm going to have fun with it, but there is absolutely no way it fits into my gaming schedule now. It's just not possible. So it's nice. I'll put it on the back burner. Once I get around to buying it, it'll probably be cheap, and I'll buy it. I feel bad because I think they're really, releasing at a time where it's going to be tough for them.
It is definitely not the window where I'm sure when they originally came out with the date, they were like, oh yeah, pre-holiday, it's going to be awesome. And then no one really put two and two together that Destiny would have the legs
the
and attractiveness.
And it's gonna be rough.
But best of luck to those guys. We love Insomniac. I'm glad that they have now restationed themselves in the world of Xbox One, and they're not just this PlayStation developer like they were for years and years and years. So good stuff. All right, well, on that, why don't we slam on over into gaming news? And the first story!
The first story, and this one is a good one coming from PlayStation, how to take a seat on the PS4's virtual couch with SharePlay. This is via joystick. So if you don't remember, SharePlay is the PS4 virtual couch. If you want to play a game with a faraway friend, but said friend doesn't own that game, SharePlay actually lets you do just that at 1 hour at a time, which I think is actually pretty decent. So, not so good at a first-person shooter, but know a friend who is. Use SharePlay to have your pal get you through those tough spots. Want to play a quick round of a competitive multiplayer game in whatever your favorite series is, but your friend doesn't own that game? SharePlay will let them do just that. Again, for 1 hour. So, after the PS4 update, codenamed Masumane, which is the worst fucking, you can't even say it. It's just ridiculous. The option for SharePlay will then pop up when you create a party with a friend. Whoever is hosting the SharePlay session will need to have an active PlayStation Plus membership, which makes sense, no matter what. If you're the guest, though, you only need a PS Plus membership to be active if you want to play that game with the host simultaneously. So what are your thoughts about this? I think this is one of the features, at least, that is really, really cool. I don't know if it's amazing cool, but it is a very neat feature. So, I mean, what do you kind of think?
It's definitely cool. What they don't kind of point out are the downsides of this. So let's say you're a person that doesn't have Destiny on the PS4, and you're like, you go to say, hey, yeah, you know what? You want to try a little Destiny with me? Let's do it up. So they're like, okay, let's play. And then, so you invite them to your SharePlay session, and then they have a 30 gig download to take.
Right.
So that's the part that nobody really thinks about. Unless you've really thought ahead and you've gone and taken this download, well, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. I wonder if there's going to be I don't know if they're going to try to stream it or how that's going to work, but that is, I mean, especially like now again, it's not like they have Halo on PS4, but there are games I would assume they're going to probably reach that status of a 40 gig, 60 gig download it does seem kind of silly to fill up your hard drive space for a game that you're not going to be able to play unless your friend allows you to play it. And then on top of that, for only 1 hour. Yep. So, yeah, it does seem really fucked up.
But it is cool. It is definitely thinking outside the box. It's trying to get something out there that is a sharing feature to bring new people in. Yeah. And eventually this could port over to new sales because you're not really going to want to do this one fucking game at a time or 1 hour at a time and clip away at a game and say, oh, that was that hour. Can you reinvite me and we'll play some more? No, it's...
Yeah. And I think for them, I think it's, and I hate to say it, but I mean, it's a cool feature, but I think it's more of a marketing ploy for them anyway. It really gets you to already download the game. It's really there to entice you to purchase that game. I mean, you're going to have to go through the hassle of downloading the game. It'll be on your system waiting there when your friend logs off. If you have enjoyed that game, you're probably going to say to yourself, man, I really don't want to wait for Derek to log back on before I can play this game with him. I'm just going to fucking buy it. So it's cool, but it definitely feels like it's aimed to selling me more shit, which is fine. But that does seem to be the case here. Still pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Next story.
Microsoft, this is a good one, cuts the price of the Xbox One for the holiday season via Gama Sutra. Microsoft has cut the price of the Xbox One console in the run-up to the holiday season as the company looks to shift the balance of power. From November 2nd, U.S. customers will be able to pick up the Xbox One for $349, which is down $50 from its regular price. You'll also be able to grab either Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, or, and this is what's awesome, Sunset Overdrive as part of the freeness in that bundle, that's badass. The PlayStation 4 currently costs $399, giving the Xbox One an advantage for the important holiday period. Of course, the PS4 is reportedly outselling the Xbox One by a fair margin right now. So what do you think? Is this enough of a boost to really put the Xbox over the edge for this holiday season?
This is fucking insane.
I think this is fucking insane as well.
This is...
Totally agree.
This is like taking $110 off because you're giving a $60 game and $50 off. It is, for $350, we might pick up our third Xbox at this point. It is that decent a deal that, the kids have been complaining, oh, you guys are always on both Xbox Ones. We need an Xbox One. And you know what? For $350, that's a no-brainer.
I think, for me, it's one of those things where, and this is where I start to feel like consumers start to get stupid. If at this point you're still wavering, and again, I'm not a fanboy. I own both. I play Destiny on both systems at the same time. I'm a fucking moron. But as we've kind of talked, the dashboard updates, the ability to watch your TV straight through it, record that. The Kinect, even though it is not a part of this current bundle, I think it's still an amazing product. When you add all that stuff up together and you're to compare these two systems, I really think at this point it's a no-brainer for the Xbox. And again, total opinion, not saying one is just inherently better than the other, but it's just value. We're going on value alone. That's where I think you really got to start paying attention.
Yep.
The value's there, guys. For that amount of price, it's perfect.
Yeah. For $350, you're getting $460 worth of shit, and you're in the ecosystem at that point.
Right.
And it's I don't see it, this just seems like such a boon going into the holiday season, and who knows if Sony will have to answer this because that really changes the game right there.
Now, that's a notch in their belt for sure. I mean, especially with Sunset Overdrive, they didn't really give you a game that's some 1-year-old game that's probably going to be on gold soon. It's a brand new game that is a very well hyped game. I mean, we just talked about it, but a lot of people are interested in it. If you want to get into the ecosystem and get a great game at the same time, again, feels like a no-brainer. I mean, I'm not saying you're making the wrong decision by buying a PS4, but you are.
Yeah, I agree.
At that level, at that point.
Yeah.
All right. So, 3D Realms returning with 32 game anthology release. This is via Joystick. The once-defunct publisher 3D Realms has reopened its doors, releasing a 32-game compilation and promising a slate of upcoming releases, this is crazy, from a newly assembled staff. The 3D Realms anthology will be available for $19.99 from the publisher's website, which of course collects Duke Nukem 3D, Shadow Warrior, Commander Keen, Goodbye Galaxy, Wolfenstein 3D, awesome, Rise of the Triad, Dark War, and other classic PC games in a DRM-free package. Many of the company's past works, including Alien Carnage, Major Striker, and Star Gunner, are also available as free downloads. 3D Realms shed its former self in 2008, but it retained its rights to Duke Nukem and other landmark PC franchises. Rise of the Triad developer Interceptor Entertainment acquired label owner Apogee Software earlier this year and now controls all associated IP and branding. I'm not even going to say, is this great news? This is great news. But what were your thoughts on it?
Well, this is crazy because everybody, like, 3D Realms was a pioneer in this, and I know that they were, like we said, Interceptor Entertainment picked them up recently. Before that, it was Apogee, but that the sheer amount of quality classic titles here and classic IPs. Like I remember when they licensed out the Duke Nukem stuff to finally get Duke Nukem Forever out there. Obviously not the game people wanted. It was a game, but it was not the game people wanted. But these are all fantastic fucking titles. And the little hidden tidbit here is, in addition to taking this 32 classic games and making so they can actually run on a current PC, because that's a little, it's not like they up-res them, but there's a lot of work that has to be done to get an old DOS game to run on Windows 7, Windows 8, whatever you're running. So they've gone and they've done all that. They've put all 32 together for $20. You can't go wrong with that. And they've assembled a staff that's going to be starting making new games out of these IPs. Like,
that's
this is
the big thing, for sure.
So this is big news. This is really what a lot of people have been waiting for. Like, when's the last time you played a Commander Keen game? Like a
long time.
Yeah, but people love those games. That was a beloved series that's now gone by the wayside. And until Duke Nukem Forever, Duke Nukem was the same way. And I just hope that this is the beginning of a big reintroduction to the 3D Realms properties, and they're going to start cranking these things out one after another. But
yeah, to me that's insane that they're. It's not like they're bringing the band back together, because it is a whole new staff, but they have control of the IP, and just knowing that the IP, those IPs will have new games being built for them, I think is good news enough. Whether those games are good or not, we can all wait and see. But at least that they're getting into building them. So I think this is really cool news, man. This is awesome.
Most definitely.
All right, final story, and it's kind of a depressing one because every time I talk about Curt Schilling, it's bad news. But Curt Schilling lobbying hearing is scheduled for October 31st, and it's almost funny that it's Halloween, because this is quite a fright for him. According to the Providence Journal, a hearing is set up by the Rhode Island Secretary of State, A. Ralph Molis, hopes to get the answers from former Red Sox pitcher and 38 Studios founder Curt Schilling about his lobbying efforts in the state prior to RI's government greenlighting $75 million in loans, the deal for his company. So in case you guys don't remember the backstory, and I'm sure everyone does, really quick, they tried to build an MMO. They totally underestimated the cost at which it would take to build said MMO, and the company folded shortly thereafter. And this controversy has been going on for, God, it feels like 5-6 years now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy. So Molis claims that several people associated with 38 Studios' deal, including Schilling himself, lobbied lawmakers to get the loan deal approved in 2010, but failed to register with the Secretary of State's office as a lobbyist. This is fucked. So this week, an inquiry was held for Curt Schilling, but he did not attend to answer the charges. Hearings officer Louis DeSimone set a new hearing date for October 31st. DeSimone also criticized Schilling for appearing on ESPN, dumbass, but not showing up for the legal proceedings, dumbass. This week's hearing will be the last opportunity that Schilling has to state his case before a ruling is delivered. He better fucking show up.
This is driving me nuts, because obviously back at E3 2010, we had a meeting with Curt Schilling, a lunch. And I sat down with him for an hour at that lunch. Jay bowed out. That was nice of him. I sat down with Curt Schilling, literally at a table, me and Curt Schilling, for an hour. We had burgers, and we talked about all this great stuff that was going on with 38 Studios and Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning and all this other stuff. They didn't have a booth that year. He literally was coming around for meetings. The next year they show up, and by that point they moved from their Maynard, Massachusetts offices, and Rhode Island gave them this sweet deal, and they were doing fine. They didn't need all this money, and Rhode Island's like, well, we can give you $75 million if you move all your offices to Rhode Island. Ends up fucking over the company because that's a huge amount of money, and when you have the money, you tend to spend it, and then if you're not bringing the money in, it's really hard to pay that back. And then Curt Schilling gets totally fucked. We did a story about a year and a half ago where it cost him $20 million of his own money. Almost all of his entire savings went into paying all this stuff back. He had, there was auctions online of all of his personal property. They had pictures all throughout his house of all his old baseball memorabilia, bloody sock, this, that, and the other thing, where basically this guy was put on sale to cover these debts from his company. So now fast forward to now, and the guy he's basically, the way he survives now is doing this ESPN gig. That's all he does now. He doesn't play baseball anymore. All of his baseball savings are gone. That was the huge story that we broke, where he had to tell that to his wife, that, basically everything I made from baseball is gone and I fucked up. And it was a sad story. And now Rhode Island's like, hey, we haven't squeezed this fucker enough. When he lobbied to us, he didn't even register as a lobbyist. So let's get him on this technicality, bring him in and rail him for some more money. So haven't we squeezed this stone dry? I don't know. It's fucked up. It is. It's
like they're going out. I mean, they're trying to bleed this guy out completely. I'm not going to say I mean, I don't want to give him, like carte blanche, because he was an amazing baseball player, and obviously Boston loves him and all that stuff. But at the same time, now it feels like they're just going after this guy for the sake of going after him. I don't know that there's anything more that he can really do. I think he's given up a lot in this. And obviously, I get it. I know the people of Rhode Island have given up just as much. Obviously, those are tax dollars that have gone, nowhere. However, the government does this all the time anyway. How many times, let's pretend it's not a game, has the government taken a shit ton of money, put it into a project, and then just not done the project and been like, yeah, we were going to put that road there, and then we forgot.
We ran out of money.
We ran out of money.
Yep.
So sorry, and no one goes on trial for that. No one ever gets attacked for that. You don't ever see someone's face. There's no poster child to put up. There's no face to put to those things. And so a lot of this is just that it's Curt Schilling, and he's a very noticeable figure. And so it's very easy to say, okay, guys, we know the guy that we want to fucking hang and string up, and everyone knows him. He's right there on ESPN every day. That son of a bitch that has our $75 million. Let's go fuck him over. So it's a double-edged sword. I mean, I think accountability is good. I think we probably need more accountability in government. However, I don't think that Curt Schilling needs to be the fall guy to get us there. I just don't. I just don't think that he's the guy. I don't know. Derek, what do you think about this story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, why don't we hop on over to the mailbag and voicemails. Altius asks, we're on the cusp of the holiday season. Which games and platforms do you think will win the holiday season, and why? Well, I think we just had a story a little while ago on Microsoft, and I think that's a huge boon on the console sales front.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't know. Which game? I mean, winning at this point is going to be very subjective. I think Halo is a big deal. So if that's something that you're really, really interested in, I think that's going to sell a lot of units. Obviously, I think that's going to be a pretty big deal. But again, World of Warcraft, I hate saying it, but they're going to have an expansion. PC's certainly going to have its place. I don't really know what Sony's doing, which is kind of crazy. I don't know what their big game is, but there's nothing that is really attached to me so far. So for me, MMC is really quite a big deal, I think, going forward. So because you look at it console-wise, none of Sony's big first-party exclusive titles are coming out during this season here. So we're talking about basically Call of Duty at this point. Yeah, which is multiple.
And that's on everything.
Yeah.
So now you're saying, okay, let's judge the platforms. Well, now Xbox is $50 cheaper. You also get a top-tier brand new game. So now you've spent $350. You can spend another $60. Pick up the Master Chief Collection and go ape shit with that. Especially if you're a guy that was I know, and still on Tool to Play, there's plenty of people that still hung on to their 360s waiting for a price cut. They're like, well, None of the games there are compelling for me. Even Titanfall, I played on the 360. I didn't need an Xbox One yet. Even Destiny, they could have played on the 360. Now, this is probably the point where you say, okay, I'm an old school Halo guy, and now I can pick up an Xbox One for $350. I can pick up Master Chief Collection for $60. Now I have 4 fucking super robust Halo games that I loved. 2 of them completely remastered in high definition. 2 of them up-resed in high definition. All the multiplayer maps that have ever been in all of history. Like, it's
insane.
Yeah, and it's definitely a way to get into the current gen of consoles on the cheap. And I don't know. I think Master Chief Collection is going to be a huge seller. I think the Xbox One, we may see for the first time coming in this holiday season, we may see it outsell the PlayStation 4. Not only just 1 month, I'm going to say maybe 2 to 3 months back to back to back.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're going to go by games, and if you're on the fence and you still don't own a system, Halo, first of all, Halo has been and always will be a system mover. The game is very good at selling systems. It's what arguably made the Xbox the system it is today. I think it is. And certainly nostalgia plays a huge role. So if there's a household out there that used to love Xbox, or maybe that hasn't played Xbox yet and knows MMC's coming, and they've always wanted to get into the Halo franchise, now you get in super cheap, you get in with another game, and then you can buy your MMC on top of that and be still at the same price point now with 2 games as the PS4. I think that is a fucking huge deal. Yep. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough call. I think a lot of people in our world have already made their choices. So if you're a PS4 guy, I guess, you don't have much to look forward to yet. But if you're an Xbox guy this holiday season, I think you're a pretty happy dude. You're doing all right.
But you're also overlooking. What about guys last year that picked up the PS4? Where now maybe they've saved some money this year. Maybe now the Xbox One is cheap enough to be their second console.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not everybody went right out of the gate like we did and bought multiple Xbox Ones and PS4s and went
not
crazy.
Everyone's a moron. Yeah, I know. Yes. But I mean, we've got to have the systems if we want to talk about them, and we love video games, so we're going to have them all. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly the case right now. I hate saying it, but it's really Xbox's game to lose once again. So hopefully this will really push them forward. And I almost wonder, like you said, if Sony's going to really have to lower their price, if we're going to see something come out of them in the next month or so. I wouldn't be surprised, because they kind of need to shut that gap quickly. I think now is the time to just say, we've got a huge lead. Let's keep this fucking thing going. Let's drop it to $50. We'll match them, price to price. And then that could once again hurt the Xbox. So let's see. I mean, this will be a really interesting holiday season.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, great question, Altius. And if any of you have some awesome fucking question like Altius does each and every week, you can give us a call, 773-527-2961. You can email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors! Remember, by supporting our sponsors, you help to support Still Got Game. GoDaddy! Starting at less than $5 a month. Web hosting from GoDaddy.com includes 99% uptime, 24/7 support, and free access to the GoDaddy hosting connection. That's the place to quickly install over 50 applications like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, EarOS, Commerce, and more. Go to toolplay.com/GoDaddy, and for great deals on new .com registrations and renewals starting at just $1.99. Some restrictions apply. See site for details. Get your PC to the internet at GoDaddy.com. But now that I've read that, we hate GoDaddy. GoShitty.com. We hate them. They never pay us. They're the worst sponsor ever. We want a good sponsor for this show. We want someone that will pay us and will sell your shit. So if you want to sell something, we have an audience. We have a live audience that's small. We have a video audience that's bigger. And we have a huge audio audience. And we are ready to pitch your shit to them. And you know what? Sale this week on advertising here. Here it is. You name your price, and as long as it's more than GoDaddy's paid us, which if you've listened to the show in the past, you know what they've paid us. Now, you might not have exclusive access to the show if like 3 people just say, hey, I want to sell this. We'll take all your ads. So give us a call, 773-527-2961, podcast@tooltoplay.com. You tell us what you want to sell, and you name your price to start out. You name your single episode price. You tell us what you want to pay us, and we'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done! Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/Tool to Play. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the fucking internet, God of everything that's fucking holy, I'm at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
And you can find me at twitter.com/JudeIRock.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/Tool to Play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/DudeIRock.
We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tool to Play. Go there. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Costs you nothing. Each and every bit of Tool to Play video content that we have goes on our channel. It's all separated into playlists. It's really easy to find what you're looking for, whether it's current shows like Still Got Game, whether it's defunct shows like Thick and Thin with LB and Duty, or other defunct shows like Hits Hits show was in its heyday. It was insane.
It was the best show ever.
Yeah,
it really was.
But he's temporarily bowed out of that. But you know what? Maybe if he sees enough views in his old videos, he'll be like, yeah, you know what? Hey, you know, guys, it's about time I bring that back, and we'll let Hip bring it back. But the way to find out about the stuff is go to youtube.com/Tool to Play and check out our content there. We also have an awesome app. Well, right now it's mediocre, but it will be awesome. It's on the iTunes App Store. You go there, search for Tool to Play. It's absolutely free. It is our app, and it is a quick way to access all of Tool to Play's news content and our video content. You'll be notified. You can pick everything up right there. It is a great one-stop shop, but we are looking for suggestions for the app. So if nothing else, download it for free, check it out, and let us know what you want to get out of it, because we are looking for suggestions for that and to make it better and to give you the app that, not only that you want, the app that you deserve. Yes.
Dark night for everyone. Good job.
All right. Also, please rate and review this podcast in iTunes. We need 5-star reviews and we need positive comments on iTunes. If nothing else, 5 stars. There's so many of you that listen out there. Just take a moment out of your day. Fire up iTunes. Go to the little search box in the top right corner. Type in Still Got Game. It'll bring up the podcast, and then it says rate this, and you click rate this, and then you just hit a number of stars. And if you want, there's a text box there. You can type in something. If you don't want to, if you're so busy, you don't have 10 seconds to write gods. That takes like 2 seconds, maybe 1 second. Gods. You hit caps lock, GODS, exclamation point, enter. Done. That is flawless comment, and really descriptive as hell. Like, there's no better description you could give us, but whatever you want to do, we definitely need the 5 stars. So please go out and do that for us. We kick this out every week for you, absolutely free. Jay's, his whole house just got packed up and taken out by movers. And they even came during the show, and they came back to his house.
They did.
And he's still putting on an episode for you. He's got his laptop on a fucking cardboard box. He's sitting on the floor. This is fucked up shit. So, asking you to just go and give us a free 5-star review is not a lot to ask. So please go do that for us. And it would mean a lot. Get us in the feels. You know what I mean?
I need some feels. I need some feels.
Hells yeah. All right, and last but not least, we have our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Tool to Play. It is where all of our live content goes, and that is shows like this. Still Got Game is live each and every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Could change in the future depending on listener feedback. Also, we do a lot of game streaming there. Hitman broadcasts all the fucking time. He's got Destiny up there like nobody's business, and his shit's pro. He's got fucking like 18 computers all linked together. He's got green screen overlays. He's got his head floating. No longer looks up like this the whole time. Like now he's looking right at the game he's playing. His monitor isn't mounted on the ceiling. It is pro as fuck, and that's where all of our content goes. And that's another way that you can help us, because in addition to following someone on Twitch, you can also subscribe to someone on Twitch, and there's a little subscribe button down at the bottom. That's your way to give us a little bit of money back. And
love.
Yeah, it is. It's a good way to show your love for the show.
And now you get a cool tea bag if you do that. You get a little tea bag next to your name.
Yep. For anyone that's in chat right now, you can see that certain people have the little tea bag icon next to all the shit they're typing. And it really does show that you are a committed supporter of the show. Doesn't cost you a lot of money, but it's a way to give a little something back. If you feel like you're getting a value out of the show, think about the things that you spend $5 a month on. Think about the things you spend $5 a day on. Forget a month. Like, it takes 2 seconds for you to go out there and just throw us a little money. Make us feel good. Show us that you appreciate the content we're giving you, and we'll keep giving it to you for free. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But we like to ask.
We ask. That's the only thing we can do. We ask.
Yeah, we're not begging, but we love you, and we hope you love us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give us your money.
Yeah. Please. All right. Well, I guess on that, Jay, why don't we wrap this episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel without a home, dude. I rock Albert.
Oh, I hope you have a place next week.
Me too, dude. Me too.